Travis is in San Francisco. What's up, Travis?
How's it going, Dave?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
So I am in a pretty interesting circumstance. Actually just got laid off recently from my engineering position with Tesla. And I'm looking to help my parents out in my father's HVAC business in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm going to be moving out there to help them with that and also help them so that they can go serve a church mission, hopefully this year. And so this year I need to prepare myself in developing my business skills as a manager and in understanding and growing his business. I worked with him in the past throughout college and high school as being a part-time apprentice, a technician, and helping him build up his business, getting him digitalized in QuickBooks and various things like that. The company is right now about 4 technicians, including my, and then also my father. He spends probably about 25% of his time managing the different jobs, and we revenue about $650,000 a year.
Okay. All right. And how can I help you?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how should I set up this relationship with going into business with my father. Is this something that if he's going to be away for, say, 2 years, do I need to become a co-business owner? Do I need to establish anything in writing? What type of best practices should I exercise with him? I know he's my father. He's one of the best people I know. But I just want to make sure that I'm doing it right so that I don't develop any bad blood between him or even his employees.
Yeah.
Well,
I think the big thing is unmet expectations or assumptions is where when communication breaks down like that's when we have anger and frayed relationships and those kinds of things, whether it's with team members or with father or whatever. So I got that you're going to move in there for 2 years, run it for him because you just lost your Tesla gig while he goes to the mission field. What's the long-term play?
So the long-term play for me is I want to get his company into a self-managing, self-running company where he has managers for his technicians being able to supervise jobs. We have somebody in the office being able to take calls, make sales, and that he is able to step away from an owner-operator, which he's already slowly been doing. But
what are you going to be doing 5 years from now?
5 years from now, either be able to be in that same position as more or less a owner, mm-hmm. and hopefully, if it's able to run itself, be able to be more of a serial entrepreneur and establish other things. I mean, coming from engineering, it's kind of hard for me not to want to solve problems and to be able to create new things. And so I can imagine that long term that I don't know whether or not growing his business that he's had for the last 25 years is something that will be able to scratch that itch long enough, or more or less be able to grow it large enough that it'd be something that would keep me interested, or if it's something that I'd like to just help out with and then move on to something else.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I would start with your relationship with him then and sit down and say, in person, and I need the 10 things that you absolutely want to have happen while you're gone. And I want to give you 10 things that I want to see, that I want to be able to do while you're gone. Okay? In your case, you're trying to get the thing where it's operationalized and not running so hand to mouth, which probably means you're going to double your volume because you're probably not running enough volume to run all the support staff that you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, I would say that we need to at least double it, get somewhere closer to like 1.5 million.
Yeah, you get in that 1.5 range, then you can start talking about some office staff and some sales staff to support, and a layer of management to run the techs, and then a general manager to run the whole puppy, and it becomes operationalized, and you can take your hand off the steering wheel, right?
Right.
But you're going to have so part of it is, Dad, I'm going to grow it, I'm going to operationalize it, I'm going to demand excellence, and I'm going to love these people well. And because your dad's going to be real concerned about how you love these people, because he's a lover of people.
Yeah, 100%.
I know that because he runs a small business and he's going on the mission field. I know he loves people. Mm-hmm. And one of his fears is that you might be too tough.
Right. And coming in and trying to optimize things a little too hard.
Well, you're a systems guy, and he's going to want you to remember there's blood, guts, and feelings in there too, not just systems. Right. And so you can't engineer your way to this. You have to work with humans to get there. Mm-hmm. Then if I'm you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down with the team as soon as possible and start asking a lot of questions about what we can do to make this place better, what we can do to make it more to make everybody make more money, what we can do to make the place make more money, what we can do to do a better job and have less frustration. Don't be coming in there with answers. You don't have any answers, but the people out there doing the work, they got the answers. Be very curious. Go on a listening tour. It represents humility and service on your part. Real leaders serve. And your job, you're going to be serving them by removing people that won't work, by removing people that are toxic, by adding people who are high character, high quality, hardworking thoroughbreds, and adding systems and processes that allow this thing to get operationalized and get to the next level. Basically, your dad's hanging on by his teeth at what we call the pathfinder level. And then, if you want to move up from there, the problem you have at the pathfinder level is you have a lack of clear direction. He's just still trying to make payroll by Friday, and he's not thinking about clear direction, and you're stepping in with a clear direction. I'm going to double this thing, and I'm going to operationalize it in 24 months.
Yeah. I feel like I'm pretty lucky with my wife. She's working remote, so this move is not going to be as hard for her, and us moving to Nevada and then dropping a lot of our expenses down allows me to be able to come in this as a pretty low cost, and then be able to
clarify with your dad what his expectations, what he wants you to be doing when he comes home. Because if he has this dream that you're going to take this over and be in that office every day and run it for the next 10 years, you both need to know that that's his dream. I don't know if it is. But if it is, you need to know it, because it was not your dream that you described to me a minute ago. It's not what you want to do. So you want to get it up where it's self-sustaining and operationalized, meaning you don't have to run it every day. You don't have to go over there and put out fires. You've got a fireman on board, and so you can go be serial entrepreneur and do some other stuff. So your goal, your job, your dream is not to be running a heat and air company on a daily basis 10 years from now. He needs to know that. And you need to align your expectations, your goals, your dreams, your desired future with his. That way nobody's mad when you come out the other side. So lots and lots of communication between you and him up front, details, and then you talk about how you're going to get paid, whether you're going to get an ownership position or and how much power you've got. I mean, if he comes home and you fired 2 of these people, what's he going to do? Is he going to freak out? You didn't have the power to do that. I didn't say you could do that. Well, then you told me to run it. What's that mean? Well, you say that's the kind of stuff you got to align on ahead of time. Have I got the power to hire and fire? Have I got the power to make some systems changes? Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to do what you're talking about. You're not going to be able to double it and operationalize it. It's not going to work for you. So you really lots and lots and lots and lots of clarity, and then you enter both of these conversations with asking questions and curiosity and humility and service. And if that's your mentality, you're going to be just fine, Travis. This is the EntreLeadership Podcast.